Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to Sippin and Spillin. I am Mike, and today I'm gonna have a chat with you guys while I'm actually up potting some peppers, because kill two birds with one stone, right? So what's been going on around here? Today is Sunday. We'll be posting this on Monday morning. So of course we got up, went to church this morning, had a great time with great people, and then went to lunch with kind of the adopted family, the neighbors, and the whole big family. And came back. Frankie brought one of her friends over with her, Morgan, and they helped me mix some concrete and pour some concrete where the gates are going to be for the chicken coop. So that was good. Got a little bit done. You know, it's supposed to be a day of rest, but there is no real rest on the farm, right? And then, you know, I like to save the chores, the tasks that can be done inside under lights after dark for after dark. So that's what I'm doing right now. I've got a bunch of pepper plants here that need up potted, and if you notice, I have pepper plants on this side and no pepper plants on this side. And what's interesting is, you know, some of these super hots down here and some of these exotic peppers, I think they take a little longer to germinate, and they do need a lot, they need like 85, 90 degree temperatures in order to germinate. Well, the problem is, once they do germinate, those high temperatures can be really bad for them. So what happens is, once all these peppers here popped up, I took a gamble and cut the heat off and took them off the heat pad, and sure enough, the rest of these did not germinate. So here's what I'm thinking. If I up pot all these peppers and get them out of this tray, and then puts what's left on this tray back onto a heat pad, will I get germination over here or not? It's gonna be a fun experiment. We're gonna find out. So that's what we're doing today. I've got this 72 cell tray that I keep inside of a tray that will actually hold water so that I can bottom water once they've germinated. And this 72 cell tray's got a hole in the bottom of each cell in the back. So I just take a little Allen key right here and push it straight up. Boop. Look at that. I pull that cell out. And what I've got now, this is a cayenne variety, and I've got 3 seeds that germinated in there. So I'm gonna try to separate this into 3 plants. Why not, right? So I'll just go ahead and get 3 little pots of dirt. Now I'm using slightly different dirt for this, and I'll tell you why. So when I germinate seeds, I do it in a potting soil, and that potting soil isn't really soil. It's mostly peat, and you know, the seeds have enough nutrients in the seed itself to get the plant through germination in the first couple of weeks. But after that, they start, you know, kind of needing some nutrients. So when I up pot them, I actually up pot them. Look at the size of that piece of bark right there. I up pot them into a organic actual planting mix. And this year I'm not making my own because I don't really, you know, it's our first year here at the new farm in Mississippi, and I don't have everything in place. So I bought some, I forget the brand name, it was what they had at Walmart, but it does have, you know, like, it's like 4% nitrogen and, you know, a couple points of phosphorus, and I don't remember what the potassium was. But anyway, there's some nutritional value there, and there's organic material in there that's breaking down. So this kind of helps these little now seedlings kind of keep going, and then I'll continue to bottom water them, and I can start feeding them a little bit, because these are still several weeks, maybe probably 4 weeks away from, maybe 5, from going out into the garden, right? So let's just take this little boy. There's one. These two are really close together, but we'll see what happens. If I can't get the littlest one and I only get the biggest of the two, that's fine, because I got plenty. Oh, but I think I got them both. So put this guy in here. There's really no benefit to planting these deep like you would a tomato. You know, a tomato, you want to plant them really deep. With these peppers, there's no benefit. And frankly, if you plant them too deep, it could hurt them, if we're being honest, because you get a little bit of rot up there. But there we go. We have up potted one right there. So, yeah. That's what's going on here tonight. That's what I'm doing while I'm chatting with you guys. So I hope I can keep it interesting, right? So I believe I just heard Syd and Frankie get home. They had turned around and gone back to youth camp. Frankie and I were gonna go fishing tonight, but a bunch of her friends were doing some cool stuff at youth back at the church this evening. So she was like, Dad, can we go fishing after school tomorrow? I want to go to youth. What are you going to say? Right? Of course. So this guy right here might not make it, but we're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and put it in there and just see, right? Why not? And I'm gonna up pot this entire, see, look, I mean, that's two, maybe three that I got out of one cell that I germinated, and here's three more. These two cells here only have two, I only have one. Interesting. I think I put 2 or 3 seeds. I think I put 3 seeds in every cell. I might have missed and only put 2 in 1 or 2 of them, but the goal was 3 seeds in every cell so that I could kind of get an idea of my germination rate. These seeds right here, these cayenne seeds, are actually an F3 now. Seeds that I've been saving myself. And that's a kind of a cool, interesting subject I'll chat on for a minute. So what does the F1 mean, right? You see that when you buy, when you buy seed. I'm not going to pull my seeds down, but let's see. What's this right here? Yeah, here we go. There's a buffalo steak right there. It's got an F1 on it. So you guys see that sometimes, and you're like, what's the F1? Well, that means that it's a hybrid. And it's the first generation of that hybrid. I forget what the F actually stands for. It's a big, long word. But so what's happened is some gardener who's got skills has taken 2 different stabilized varieties of tomato, in this case pepper, and they have hybridized a plant off of 1 seed from 1 fruit off of that plant, okay? And they've and they have done it in a way that they know that every seed that comes out of that hybridization is going to produce this plant, this buffalo steak that they're claiming, okay? What's interesting, hello Bunko, he's got to make an appearance in every video. What's interesting about an F1 hybrid is if you collect the seeds from, like in this case, this was an Arapaho cayenne pepper, okay? If I collect the seeds from the best looking plant that has all the character traits that that plant was supposed to have, and then the best looking pepper off of that plant that was supposed to have all of the character traits that that plant had. If I collect the seeds out of that pepper, and then I plant 12 or 15 of those plants, of those seeds, the following season, okay? Of those, let's stick to round numbers. Of those 10 plants, so we'll say 10 for rounding purposes. What's interesting is that like 6 of those plants are gonna wind up having character traits from one of the mother plants and not what the F1 variety was, if that makes sense. So what I did in this case was I went ahead and planted like 10 or 12 plants from the best pepper off of the best plant, okay, that I captured the seeds from. And then I let those grow, and they grew, and some of them had weird peppers, some of them were interesting, but I took, you know, the one that I felt was the truest to what the original was. Best plant, best pepper. I took the seeds out of that, and I saved those seeds as an F2, okay? Then, the following season, I did the same thing. I took the best plant, true to its characteristics, the best fruit off of that plant, saved those seeds, and that's what you're looking at right here. These guys right here are the F3, the third generation down. And I'm doing quite a few of them. I've got 4 rows rather, of those cayenne on here. So I'm feeling confident that enough of these are gonna be true that I'm gonna get a lot of the peppers that I want. I'm probably gonna put an entire row of these things down in our garden, and some of them will be weird, okay? I'm not worried about them cross-pollinating. Any of you guys that know anything about peppers, it's really difficult to accidentally cross-pollinate a pepper. People are like, oh, don't plant your jalapenos next to your bell peppers. Your bell peppers will be too spicy. That's mostly not true, okay? And if you do cross-pollinate by accident, you wind up only cross-pollinating the one fruit, the one pepper that got cross-pollinated, not the whole plant. If you want a cross-pollination, you have to get the seeds from that one pepper that cross-pollinated. And a pepper plant pollinates itself, okay? So the pollen and the stem are inside of the same flower, and it pollinates itself almost 95% of the time before that flower ever opens, okay? It's already pollinated when the flower opens. So by the time the birds and the bees come and start doing their pollinating thing and collecting pollen from, they're not pollinating these peppers. They're already pollinated. That's why it's so difficult to cross-pollinate peppers, because you got to come in, you got to know when that flower is ready to pollinate, okay? Then you got to take a little surgical razor blade and cut the unopened flower off, okay? Do the same thing to this plant over here that you want to cross with this pepper. Then you got to, surgically get the pollen from this one, come over, put it on the stem of this one, and then put a little bag over it, okay? And now, if you're successful at that, you will have created a cross-pollinated single pepper on that whole plant. Not the whole plant. That single pepper will now be cross-pollinated. And if you like the end result of that, okay, in order to create that same end result again, you're probably going to have to go through the same process. Or what you can do, you get enough seeds out of that pepper, you plant those seeds, and you see, did any of them wind up with the perfect characteristics of that one pepper that you cross-pollinated? It's actually kind of complicated, and I've never done the actual cross-pollinating of the plants, but I have kind of stabilized hybrids where I've grown them myself, collected seeds from them, found the best seed that had the best, characteristics stayed the same, stayed true to the hybrid seeds that I originally purchased, and that's where we are here with like an F3. It's really not probably considered stable by most people until you're at an F4 or even 5, but I'm confident that I'm going to get enough of these that are what I'm looking for that I went ahead and planted a bunch of them. So anyway, I feel like I went on a kind of a rant there about pepper plants. I had no idea what I was going to talk about when I came out here today. And I figured we'd just wing it, and that's what we did. So here's another 3 pepper plants right here. Let's go ahead and see if we can separate these and pot up 3 more of this Coolio. And I'll tell you what, these are the most amazing cayenne peppers. These Arapahoes, I mean, you guys, if you like cayenne peppers and you want to go ahead and get yourself a really great cayenne pepper plant going, I got the original seeds from Baker Creek, I believe. Too many words for this hillbilly. Yeah, it was called the Arapaho Cayenne. And I'm telling you, we made, well, Bunko's getting into trouble over there. We made some amazing, cayenne powder. I pickled some of them. Just so many things that we did with those that every year I've actually grown more than I did the year before. And this year, like I said, I'm doing like a whole row of these things. Probably, maybe like 100-foot row. We'll see. I want to space them about 18 inches, so we'll see how many I've got here. Bunko's getting into all kinds of trouble over there. I didn't even invite you to this party, Bunko, but here you are. He thinks he's always invited. And hey, that's my lens cap. He's over there throwing my lens cap off my chair. Like, hey. Bye. Something about a spray bottle. Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited for these. I tell you, this is my favorite time of year, guys. I love planting plants. I love seeding. Some of the tending of the garden a little bit later in the season is really hard work, and I still enjoy it. But there's something about seeds, just getting that life started. It's not hard labor. It's not, mentally challenging. But what it does is it engages you mentally just enough that you're thinking about what you're doing, and you're not thinking about work, and you're not thinking about, the challenges that you might be having with somebody you're dealing with, or, just you're thinking about this, and you're thinking, it's calming. It's therapy, right? And we all need a little therapy once in a while. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Hope I didn't bore you with the pepper talk, but don't forget to click the bell and make sure that you open up and click to receive all notifications. If you just click the bell, YouTube decides which people they want to notify you when they go live. It's a crapshoot. Only YouTube knows the algorithm truth to that one. But if you tell it you want all notifications, then every channel you subscribe to, you're supposed to get notifications every time they post a video. And other than that, you guys have a blessed Monday and the rest of the week, and we'll catch you on the next one.